Hello, I'm Bill Calkins, and I'm the instructor for this Advanced Solaris 11 System Administration class. This class is for experienced Solaris 11 system administrators, for administrators that have taken my Solaris 11 Sysadmin 1 class, or administrators that have 6 to 12 months experience working on the topics that I'm going to cover here in a minute, the prerequisites. Now, this class is normally an intense 5-day class, 8 to 10 hours per day. Administrators have a great deal of experience when they come to this class. But for some administrators, 10 hours a day over 5 days can be a little intense. So I've taken this class and I've broken it down into 1 hour or less modules. Video modules where I describe topics, I do hands-on demonstrations, and after the video is complete, I have exercises, multiple exercises for you to go through, and you'll perform those exercises either on your own system or you may use our lab servers here. We have SPARC servers, Intel servers that you'll have access to throughout the course. You'll take this course at your own pace. That's the beauty of it. You're not going to be forced to take this over a 5-day period, 10 hours per day. You'll watch a video. You'll rewatch the video if you need to go back through the material again. Watch it as many times as you want. Take 30 days to go through the material. If you have questions, you'll be able to email me, call me. We can meet online and go through the topic if you need some additional help. I'll even provide additional materials if you need more than what I've provided in this course. My goal is to help you learn this topic. Now let's go through those topics, see what we're going to cover in this class. We'll begin by covering advanced Solaris installation techniques. You've already gone through using the interactive installer in my first class. You'll be setting up an AI server, an automated install server. And then you'll set up clients. And when these clients boot on the network, they'll automatically install the OS based on the configuration that you create on the AI server. You'll also use this as a disaster recovery server. I'll teach you how to use the Unified Archive utility to create archives of running systems and use that archive in an AI environment to deploy an archive if you ever have to recover a system in a disaster recovery environment. I'll also show you how to use the distribution constructor, the Solaris tool used to create your own installer. This installer can be used to install systems from a DVD or from a USB drive, but it's going to be better than using Oracle's installer because it's going to be your own configuration, installing your packages and your SRUs. Then we're going to move on and talk about configuring the virtual network environment, virtual NICs, ether stubs, virtual switches. We'll configure the virtual network and we'll also configure a virtual network between zones. But in addition, I'm also going to describe how to set up link aggregations for improved bandwidth and IPMP multipathing for improved network redundancy. I'll show you how to utilize virtual networking in zones. And then I'll go through kernel zones, how to configure and manage kernel zones. We've already covered non-global zones in the first class. And then we'll move on to the role-based access control, RBAC. Now this is an area that a lot of sysadmins don't use. I realize that because they don't understand it. But in Solaris 11, you need to understand RBAC whether you plan to use it or not. It's already in use. It's already being used by the operating system. But you can also use it to delegate administrative roles to users without giving them the root password. Our goal in Solaris 11 is not to distribute the root password to people. We want to set up roles and profiles and give the users the administrative authority that they need to perform their task, and that's it. You'll also learn how to administer or how to delegate administrative tasks for setting up ZFS storage pools, ZFS file systems, managing zones. This can all be delegated through RBAC. And then we'll talk about securing system resources, configuring auditing, and collecting and analyzing these audit records. We'll monitor processes and system stats using command line utilities as well as the web dashboard, which is new in Solaris 11.4. I'll teach you how to manage resources using the Resource Manager. We'll talk about projects and tasks. We'll talk about the Fair Share Scheduler. And we'll talk about how to contain applications so that they don't run away with all of the system resources, to get better utilization of system resources. We'll also talk about monitoring performance, different tools we can use for that, as well as tuning system performance through some kernel parameters that we'll go through, as well as using some resource management techniques that I've used over the past several years. And then we'll talk about managing core dumps and crash dumps, and any additional questions that you may come up with through the course. We'll talk about those as well. Now, to be successful in this class, you need to understand these topics. These topics are all taught in my Sysadmin 1 class. I've also broken that down into 1-hour modules if you need to pick up on any of these topics. But you should understand the ILOM environment on the SPARC platform, and you should understand how the Intel and the SPARC platform boots the operating system. You should understand how to create and administer user accounts, how to administer the service management facility, how to configure services. You should understand how to create and configure non-global zones, how to install the Solaris 11 OS using the interactive installer. You need to understand the image packaging system, IPS. You need to understand how to create local repositories, how to update those local repositories, and how to update your system using IPS. You also need to understand boot environments and how that's integrated with IPS. You also need to know how to administer ZFS storage pools and file systems, as well as the properties associated with those components. You need to understand how to configure a physical network interface. And you need to create and manage non-global zones, and you also need to understand system messaging, how to configure syslog and rsyslog. So if you meet those requirements, you have what it takes to come into my class. I look forward to having you in my class. I love teaching this material and sharing the knowledge that I've gathered over the past 25 years. If you want to sign up for this class, you can call the number that's on this page. You can click on the Contact Us page and fill out the information form, and I'll get right back to you, or send an email. My email address is on this website as well. I look forward to having you join me in this class, and I look forward to teaching you this material.